And we are live. Hello, everybody. We have a very exciting live stream today, something that's apparently very popular that I wanted to speak about after doing some research, getting some information, and of course, sharing all of that with you. So, first and foremost, thank you all very, very much for tuning in to today's live stream. The date is October 30th. 2025. We're almost in 2026. I always say I thought there would be flying cars by now. There are not. They say they're coming next year, but it's a completely different 2025 than I thought it would be. With all that being said, again, I want to say thank you all very, very much for being a part of this YouTube channel, being a part of this live stream. If you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe. If you're not yet following me on Instagram, there's a link in the description below. Follow me on Instagram, join me on Telegram for daily updates. There are links in the description below for absolutely everything. With that, just a few things to get out of the way before we officially begin. To my right is the Light System Cube. To my left is the Light System Pyramid. This is cutting edge technology that on one hand can help you elevate your consciousness and awareness beyond measure, which is the first step when it comes to self-healing, and number two, can help you do what your body does best, which is heal itself. They don't just look awesome, they make you feel awesome as well. So if you want to learn more about the Light System, make sure to go to the Light Systems, in plural, thelightsystems.com. Learn more, book a call with a specialist, a team member, ask your questions before moving forward if you feel called to. And of course, what I'm wearing over here is my Light System wearables, my bracelets, my medallions, the necklace. These are more than just stones, although Tiger's Eye is my favorite stone. These are infused and supercharged with some incredible frequencies, proprietary technology that the Light System outsources to bring the best charged jewelry so you can actually wear a powerful frequency every single place that you go. If you want to get your wearables today, you want to get your necklace, you want to get your bracelets, whatever it may be, they come in many different shapes and sizes. Go to tlsmarketplace.shop. Again, that's tlsmarketplace.shop. I have that pinned in the live chat. I have it in the description below. Last but not least, before we dive in, we have a major event coming up in January, just 2.5 months out. Less than 100 days, less than 90 days, with myself, Dr. Brian Artis, Dr. Ed Group, and Robert Edward Grant, called The Transformation Becoming Superhuman. And it's all about transforming into your highest potential. I did this once before. We're doing it again with some incredible speakers. You can go to my website, jasonshurka.com. Do that right now, jasonshurka.com. Learn more about the event, get your tickets. Payment plans are available, and there is no price that you can put on your future and your highest potential. Take advantage of it. Be there to be one of the people that are there in person. Of the 444 people that are going to be there in person, it's going to be incredible. Again, that's jasonshurka.com. You can also go to jasonshurka.com/superhuman. Go check it out if you're ready to transform, if you're ready to hit that peak, hit that highest potential. This is the event for you. And no matter what comet comes over the next few days, over the next few weeks, with the 3-eye Atlas comet that we're going to be speaking about, we will still be here in January in Miami, Florida, January 16, 17, and 18. Get your tickets while you still can. Again, that's jasonshurka.com. Learn more about the event and secure your ticket while they last. Thank you all very, very much. We're going to dive right into today's live stream. As usual, I want to say thank you all very much for tuning in. This is a very interesting topic. It's something that has the world divided on their different ideas and theories and facts in some cases, and so on and so forth, which we're going to dive in. Right before we dive into it, I want to ask you all, everybody that's tuning in live, where are you tuning in from? What city, what state, what country, what village, what town, what planet? I think planet Earth for most of us, at least if you're on youtube.com, because I think that's the only place that it's actually available on this planet, unless I don't know something about it. But where are you tuning in from? What city, what country, what state, what town, what village, what planet? I see people from Earth. We love that. We see Athens, Greece, beautiful place, Argentina, Mesa, Arizona, Texas, Arkansas, Nevada, Tennessee, Utah, Montana, Philippines, beautiful, never been there, but I want to go, will go soon. We have Munich, Germany, Norfolk, I think that's how you pronounce it, United Kingdom, Las Vegas, Nevada, Kentucky, New York, Bristol, United Kingdom, England, Texas, London, Wisconsin, Orlando, Brazil, California, United Kingdom, Canada, Alabama, another one in Alabama, New Jersey, Las Vegas, New Jersey, Arizona, Holland, the list goes on and on. You get the point. The point is to show us all how far and wide we all are all around the world. You are not an outcast. You are not an outlier. You are somebody that thinks like many other people in the world, and you have the balls to subscribe to a channel like this one. Spread the word, share this channel, get the whole world to subscribe so they can be a part of new information and new awareness that comes out for the world as a whole. With that being said, we're going to dive right in. I'm going to make this as simple as I can possibly make it. The name of this live stream is The Truth About Three-Eye Atlas. Is it a comet? Is it a craft? Is it a cosmic message? Or is it something a whole lot greater? Or something a whole lot simpler? We're going to answer some of those, although I don't like giving answers because I don't know it all. I like giving facts. I like giving knowledge and information points, data points that are out there so you can connect the dots and come down to your own conclusion. So family, tonight we are diving into something wild. A mysterious object coming from outside our solar system has entered our neighborhood. It's called Three-Eye Atlas, and depending on who you ask, it's either a harmless interstellar comet or something far, far stranger. Now, mainstream scientists are calling it the third interstellar object ever detected, right after something called, and I want to pronounce this right, Oumuamua and Borisov. But others, including a respected Harvard astrophysicist named Avi Loeb, are suggesting something completely different. Some say it's artificial, some say it's behaving like a ship, and some say that on October 29th, just yesterday, the day it reached its closest point to the sun might have been a test. So tonight, I want to break it all down, the science, the theories, the mysteries, and what might really be going on behind the scenes. The first question is, what is Three-Eye Atlas? Let's start with the basics. Three-Eye Atlas was discovered on July 1st, 2025 by the Atlas telescope. That's why it's called Three-Eye Atlas, by the Atlas telescope in Chile. The same system detected or designed to detect potentially dangerous asteroids, which is always very interesting because if you've watched Conversations with Ray in the Disclosure series, he speaks about the whole false narrative around asteroids being able to hit this planet. I won't dive into that right now, but it's something worth watching on Unified TV, so go check that out. The three-eye part of the name, Three-Eye Atlas, means it's the third interstellar object ever observed in our documented history. Again, the first was Oumuamua, or however you pronounce that. It was a long cigar-shaped mystery that passed through our solar system about 8 years ago in 2017. The second was Two-Eye, now it's Three-Eye, Two-Eye Borisov in 2019, just 6 years ago, which looked and acted like a regular comet. But Three-Eye Atlas is a little bit different. It's moving in a different trajectory. It's called a hyperbolic trajectory, meaning it's not orbiting the sun. It came in from deep space, and once it leaves again forever. It doesn't stay in orbit, it leaves again forever. NASA estimates it passed closest to the sun, and close is relative, it's funny, at 1.4 astronomical units. Now that's about 130 million miles away. To put that into perspective, the sun's distance from Earth is 93 million miles away. And the closest this comet passed, or got to the sun, was 130 million miles away. Now, what is the closest it will ever get to Earth? 1.8 astronomical units, meaning like nearly 200 million miles away, more than 2 times the distance of the sun. So the whole idea of it being a threat, in my opinion, is completely bogus. It's not a threat, but it's what's happening as it passes that has everyone talking all around the world, a bunch of different theories. We have mainstream scientists speaking. We have the so-called conspiracy theorists speaking on one of them, by the way. By the way, a conspiracy theory is only a conspiracy theory if it's a theory, just for those who, like to call people like me a conspiracy theorist. Many times those theories turn into facts, and then it just becomes spreading knowledge about global conspiracies. But again, a topic for another day. So I want to speak about first, before I go into the theories, just to kind of connect dots and whatnot, I want to speak about the mainstream scientific sort of narrative right now. Not that I agree with all of it, but we got to put everything out there so people understand what's going on and everything that's out there. So what are scientists saying right now? According to NASA, the ESA, and observatories around the world, 3I Atlas is simply a comet from another star system. It's releasing, and these are the facts that they're sharing, it's releasing water vapor, it's releasing hydroxyl gas and dust, just like comets in our solar system right now. Its greenish hue that a lot of people are talking about comes from something that they call cyanogen, I think is how you pronounce it, and diatomic carbon, chemicals that, by the way, glow under sunlight. Now, keep that in mind because a lot of people saying the comet turned on. Well, maybe it's just reflecting something, but maybe not. So again, these chemicals glow under sunlight. Hubble and Neil Girl Swift Observatory even confirmed water signatures, which is where it gets interesting because the whole idea of life is you need water. And we always said there was never water anywhere. Now they're finding planets on the other side of the literally outside of the solar system and way beyond that may have water, but they don't know. They're now confirming that there are water signatures on this comet, which does change a mainstream narrative that we've had for quite some time, because when it comes to water on this, maybe there is life somewhere else. And I think it's obvious to say there is life somewhere else, but again, not the point of what we're here to talk about, right? The point of what we're here to talk about is what's out there and how can we connect the dots to understand what's going on. So the official narrative, the official line is it's natural, it's interesting, but mainstream science says it's not weird. In fact, many scientists are actually thrilled about it. It's what they call a once-in-a-generation chance to study materials from beyond our solar system. So scientifically, 3I Atlas, according to mainstream science, 3I Atlas is a traveler. It's not a threat. Now, here's where it gets a little weird. I want to talk about why people are losing their minds over this thing because I've been seeing it absolutely everywhere. A lot of people have been asking me to speak about it. And if you know anything about me and what I share, I like grounding things, right? I like doing things that are out there, but from a grounded place. So a lot of people are losing their minds over this thing. It started with the discovery itself, of course. Within days, researchers noticed that its trajectory seemed unusually aligned with the ecliptic. Now, what is that? The ecliptic is a plane where most of the planets orbit. Now, that's not impossible to happen, but it's statistically very unlikely. It's very rare for something coming from another star. Then came what they call the light curves, the way the object brightens and dims. Some astronomers noticed patterns that didn't quite fit what they call standard comet activity. And then as it got closer to the sun, it began to turn green. And that's when the news started going crazy. The headlines exploded. As a matter of fact, some of the mainstream headlines literally said this, and I'm going to quote them for you. Number one, Manhattan-sized interstellar object turns green as it nears the sun. Number two, Harvard professor warns, take vacations before October 29th. So I didn't take a vacation. Not going to take a vacation before or after. I think a lot of this is a little crazy. And again, I talk about crazy things, but we got to ground things into reality as well. Now, those headlines, those two headlines that I just shared, came from mainstream outlets. The New York Post, Times of India, and a few other ones as well, the New York Post being the main one. And that's when that researcher, Avi Loeb, re-entered the picture. Now, Avi Loeb and the alien probe idea is something we got to speak about. If you've heard of the other comet that we were speaking about, the first one, which is 1I, right? So the first one that came in, Oumuamua, or however you pronounce it, you've probably heard of Avi Loeb. If you haven't, He's a Harvard astrophysicist who caused an uproar back in 2018, about 7 years ago, by saying that this comet back in the day might be what he called an alien probe. This is a Harvard astrophysicist saying that Oumuamua, if that's how you pronounce it, might be an alien probe, which is a pretty crazy statement to say, although I'm all about it. I think it's pretty cool. He pointed to the fact that it accelerated in a strange way, reflected sunlight in an odd way, and didn't behave like any other rock or comet he or anybody else in his space had ever seen. Loeb's back. He's saying this one, when it comes to 3I Atlas, could be another case of alien technology. He argues that its orbit is unusually precise, its reflective surface changes over time, and the timing of its brightening seems deliberate, which is interesting because he's saying there may be an intelligence behind this. It's not just something, random or even so-called natural. There's something artificial about this, according to Avi Loeb. Now, he even said, and I quote, "We should keep our minds open. Nature doesn't usually align things so perfectly without purpose." Now, I beg to differ on that because nature aligns things in pretty perfect order ways. Look at the human body as Exhibit A. It's perfect. Is it artificial? I don't think so. I think it's natural. So, on one hand, nature does align things perfectly, but not without purpose, with purpose. Now, that language is generally the language, and I'm not saying Avi Loeb is, I don't know, but generally the language of an atheist, right? Saying there's no order here. And I'm not talking about God and how you define that. There's an order to absolutely everything, natural and artificial, because everything that's artificial originates from something that's natural. Just keep that in mind. Now, according to him, 3I Atlas might be what he calls a relic of alien technology, possibly a fragment, a probe, or a communication device from an ancient civilization. Others say it could just be debris, not just, but could be debris from an interstellar mothership. These are some of the things that are going out there right now. And when NASA, this is where everybody started going crazy, when NASA went quiet for a week, just a week, 7 days, about new data, that's when the rumors started going crazy. Now, some of this might be true. We won't know until maybe never. Maybe we will at some point. We don't know that. I'm going to share some of my own ideas and theories in a moment, but I want to speak about the conspiracies, not just theories. Maybe some of these are true. Again, I'm one that shares a lot of these things. I just like grounding it into reality. Now, when it comes to the conspiracies, this is where things really take off online, in the online world, on social media specifically. First, these circles, myself included, by the way, because I don't consider myself outside of the conspiracy circle, and I'm very proud of it. But the conspiracy circles, as the mainstream calls it, started linking 3I Atlas to a supposed galactic alignment happening in late October, which, by the way, is very real, astrologically speaking, saying that when it passed perihelion, however you pronounce that, it would trigger an energetic or spiritual shift on Earth. Now they're speaking my language. I like that. Astrology aligns with a lot of different energies being expressed, a lot of different energies radiating. This may be a part of it. This may not be a part of it, but it's definitely getting a lot of people to think and speak. Some said it was a signal, a cosmic activation beacon connected to ancient civilization. So we're getting a lot of ancient civilization connections over here, which is very interesting. Others said it's part of a cover-up, claiming that NASA's missing week of data was actually them hiding signs of artificial emissions. Now, when it comes to NASA, they lie about a lot of things. Some things I agree with, some things I don't. It's very possible. There were reports on X and Telegram channels, not to say that they're absolutely true, I'm just sharing some reports, saying the object emitted radio pulses nearing 1,420 megahertz, the same frequency as the hydrogen line, which SETI scientists consider ideal for interstellar communication. So over and over again, both mainstream and what they call conspiracy theorists right here are actually having a common ground. There may be some form of interstellar communication going on, which makes a lot of sense because we've sent out probes for that purpose in the past. Maybe this could be a response. Maybe it could be artificial. Maybe it could all be made up. I'll speak about something very important in a moment. Now, I do want to say on what I just shared, no official observatory confirmed the 1,420 megahertz, but screenshots were circulating everywhere, and it's worth noting. Of course, it spiraled, it went viral. That's part of the reason why I'm sharing this today. Now, theories also popped up claiming that 3i Atlas was the same object. Listen to this. The same object as the one that triggered the 1977 wow signal is what they call it. Look that up. It's interesting. A famous unexplained radio signal from space. Now, my explanation for that is we sent things out with radio signals. Maybe we got something back. We don't know. Loeb himself, Avi Loeb, the astrophysicist, even wrote an article saying that the timing is, and I quote, intriguing, though he stopped short of confirming anything one way or another. So I think this guy just likes having fun with us. Then came what I like to call the wildest one. That 3i Atlas, I said this earlier, is turning on as it nears the sun. There were photos that began showing a structured pattern in its tail, which is interesting. Some even suggesting geometric shapes or right angles. And by the way, this is where Robert Edward Grant actually has some incredible information. He's going to be part of our event in January. Incredible information that he shares on his Instagram. So make sure to go check that out, because there are coincidences that are happening that are not coincidences, like the speed of 137,000 miles per hour. That's not a random speed. Robert explains that. Maybe I'll interview him in the near future about that and all of his understandings and theories about what's going on here. But people started saying it's powering up. And this is where I started disagreeing, because yes, we know that there are chemicals that are coming off of that thing, and we know those chemicals have a certain hue as they get closer to the sun. So were they powering up, or was it the sun reflecting as it got closer to the sun? Or was it a combination of both? NASA says it's, again, take this lightly, NASA says it's just dust jets interacting with solar wind, but some amateur astronomers claim the object's rotation and brightness are too rhythmic to be random. Now, of course, nothing's random here. But does it mean one way or another? We'll just have to find out. I want to touch up on the fact of why NASA and the ESA are so interested, because this is what I think is getting a lot of people to say, let's look into this thing. What doesn't help the skepticism that people have, including myself, by the way, are the fact that NASA and the European Space Agency, which is the ESA, are devoting an enormous amount of resources to tracking 3i Atlas. Even Mars orbiters and the James Webb Telescope were redirected to observe it. So the level of attention that this thing is getting is rare. It doesn't happen often. So naturally, people like me, if you want to call me a conspiracy theorist, by all means, I love you anyways, but people like me are asking why? Why are they so interested? Is it just because they want to observe something, or is it because they know something? Or is there something else going on, which I'll share in just a moment? I'm going to keep that something else till the end, because I think it's really interesting. Some say agencies already know it's not natural. Some say they know it's artificial. Others say, okay, because this thing might hold interstellar biological material, maybe even microbes frozen for billions of years. And whatever the reason is, 3i Atlas is being watched more closely than any other comet in recent history. Now, when it comes to the spiritual and energetic aspect of all this, beyond the science and the UFO speculation, the extraterrestrial speculation, there's also a spiritual layer to this whole story that many people aren't speaking about. Some people are, and I want to highlight that. There are people in what we can call the spiritual, the consciousness, the metaphysical community, whatever you want to call it, that are saying 3i Atlas represents what we call a cosmic mirror. And I believe Robert Grant, a good friend of mine, is one of those individuals. A reminder that humanity is being observed as we evolve. Some call it what they call the Herald of Awakening, or the Awakening, saying interstellar visitors are symbols of humanity's shift into higher awareness, while others believe its electromagnetic signature may subtly influence human consciousness, as we've seen with other cosmic events. Now, this is basic astrology. You don't need it to be a planet to impact you. You need there to be something, some matter of a significant size in this case, to impact you, astrologically speaking. cosmically speaking, that's what astrology is. Look at the moon. This isn't a theory. I mean, the moon affects high tide and low tide of the planet. It has a gravitational pull. It orbits around the Earth, and it moves a massive amount of water on this planet every 6 hours, but really every moment. Now, whether all of this is true or not when it comes to the spiritual angle, I think it's interesting that this discovery has quite literally inspired millions, if not billions, to look up, to look at the sky, to look at what's above them, because so many of us have lost that. I mean, look up, how many stars do you see? If you're in a city, which many of us are, you don't see that. A couple months ago, I was in Exuma, in the Bahamas, and I was on this island. Nobody else was on it, just me and Noah. And at night, there were so many stars, and there are always so many stars, but we don't see them because of our light pollution. And even if there isn't light pollution, we don't see them because we're looking down into our phones. It was one of the first times I was able to see stars all the way down to the horizon. I started looking up and I understood, wow, the ancient civilizations may have had a one-up on us over here, if not many one-ups on us, because they were able to connect to something that has a higher understanding, a higher awareness, a higher intelligence, and a higher consciousness to it. And it's something that if nothing comes out of this but one thing, more people are starting to pay attention to what's above them. And what's above all of us is something that really does impact a lot of the things in our lives individually and collectively on this planet. So before I give you another angle that I don't know if a lot of people are speaking about, but I think it's important to touch up on, I want to just kind of break this down of the science versus the theories and just give you some quick bullet points to make it easy. At the end of the day, here's what's going on. Mainstream scientists say the following. Number one, it's a comet. Number two, it's natural. Number three, there's no threat. The other circle of individuals say it's an artifact. It's a spaceship. It's a piece of a mothership. It's being monitored, and it may be monitoring us. And it's connected to something a whole lot bigger. And I say, maybe all of those things could be true, and it's somewhere in the middle. The truth is probably somewhere in between curiosity and mystery, which is usually where the truth lies. But that's not my thing that I truly want to share here. We're going to get there in just a moment. I just want to say this. History has shown us one thing. Today's science fiction, what we call not real, sometimes becomes tomorrow's science fact. Just like today's conspiracy theory, sometimes, many times, almost all the time, becomes tomorrow's conspiracy fact. And this may not be something different. So what's the takeaway here? 3i Atlas reminds us that our solar system is not isolated. We're part of a galactic highway, and this is just truth. And sometimes things travel and pass through. Maybe this one's just a rock, maybe it's a message, or maybe it's both. A natural object used by intelligence. I'll say that again. A natural object used by intelligence. As of now, we won't know until we do. But what we do know is that something or someone out there just sent us a visitor from the stars. And whether it's a comet, craft, or a cosmic mirror, as some people say, it's asking us to look up. It's asking us to question. It's asking us to stay curious. Now, there's one thing I want to share that I don't think has been shared that I think many people do need to start paying attention to. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying it's something to be aware of. And it's called Project Bluebeam. Now, Project Bluebeam is this idea, this narrative, that certain individuals in power are going to fake and stage a fake, an artificial, or holographic, making it look real, alien invasion in order to take away more freedoms from each and every one of us. And by the way, what a brilliant idea if you're a psychopath. If you want to take over the world, if you want to take over humanity, if you want to take over a nation, if you want to take over a population that outnumbers you 1,000,000,000 to 1, you can't do that by physical force. You need to do it by psychological manipulation. You need to make the people turn against themselves. You can't say, hi, people, get rid of your freedoms and your liberties. You need to create a situation where the people beg for the government to do something that ultimately will end up taking away their freedoms and their liberties. And what better way to do that, if you're a psychopath, than making an entire nation, an entire planet, an entire race believe that there's something out there that's coming to invade and we got to be careful. Because then the people of the world that don't know better will bow down to the government that is so-called trying to protect them. And that's something that we need to be aware of. Because if this is something that is being set up to roll out Project Bluebeam, then the only way to negate that is by being aware of what Project Bluebeam is. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to happen. As a matter of fact, I don't think that 3i Atlas is being set up in that way, because if it was, they're not doing that great of a job. Because then the mainstream narrative wouldn't say it's natural, it's not a threat, there's nothing to worry about. On the contrary, they would be saying this is a threat. Everybody, empty the shopping, the grocery stores, get all your toilet paper. God knows why they did that in COVID, but they did. It was super weird, but it happened. And I just don't see that being set up in this case. I know a lot of people brought that up to me and asked me those questions. It's possible. I hope I'm right on this one, by the way, because we don't want something like Project Bluebeam to happen, but it's something that we do need to be aware of. Because if we are not aware of it, it makes it easier to roll out such a plan. And the only way that they cannot roll out such a plan is by making people aware of the plan. Some people say what you focus on is what you manifest. And that's true to a degree, but not in this case. Because in this case, what you focus on, what you raise awareness for, foils the plans of the individuals to be able to play that card, because that card no longer has value if people know that it's a false and fraudulent card. So on that topic, before we bring this to a close, I'm going to ask you all, I want you guys to let me know, all the hundreds of you that are watching this live and the thousands of you that are going to watch this on the replay, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think 3i Atlas really is? Is it a comet? Is it a craft? Is it a message from beyond? Or is it something natural used by intelligence? Or is it none of the above and something that you guys can share in the comments below? So make sure to share that in the comments below. Share this video far and wide on the topic of exciting things and crazy things out there. Again, for everybody that's tuning in now, I want to bring to all of your awareness an event that's going to truly shoot you beyond the stars, no pun intended, but shoot you beyond the stars. And that is the Becoming Superhuman, the transformation event with myself, Dr. Brian Artis, Dr. Ed Group, and Robert Edward Grant. I want to see you guys there. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm going to put a link in the description below so all of you can learn more about it. But in the meantime, when you go to my website, jasonshurka.com, this is what you're going to see. It's a powerful, powerful event. You can learn more about it over here. You can learn more about the schedule, watch testimonials, get your tickets. People who get their tickets will be entered into a raffle to get either a light system cube or a light system pyramid for free. Both of those are being given away at the event. So make sure to be a part of it. Get your tickets. We are going to have an incredible time. There's going to be unique things that go on at that event. And you're going to hear from some of the greatest minds on this planet. Robert Edward Grant, Dr. Brian Artis, and Dr. Ed Group. Make sure to check it out. On the topic of the light system, make sure to check that out as well. They just built a brand new website, a beautiful website. Thelightsystems.com is where you can learn more about it, with a link in the description below. Go check it out, read about it, and if you're serious in moving forward, you could speak with a specialist, and it will take you to book a call so you can actually ask all your questions without having to do all the reading. If you want a cube, you want a pyramid, you want a chair, you want the bigger units, make sure to book a call with the team at thelightsystems.com. And last but not least, get your TLS wearables. The necklace, the medallion, the bracelets, and many other things, including on that marketplace, global healing products from Dr. Ed Group from Global Healing that are also in the very near future going to be supercharged across all global healing products by the light system technology. in the manufacturing plant that Global Healing has now in Texas. Go to tlsmarketplace.shop if you want to get your wearables, if you want to just check out the coolest marketplace you've ever seen, and so many other things that are coming to that marketplace every single day. You can go to tlsmarketplace.shop, check out the supercharged medallions, the supercharged bracelets, other natural supplements and skincare, frequency systems and tools, learn more about what they call the quantum concentrator, and so much more. Check it out. I look forward to hearing your feedback after you deal with everything that you get to see over here. And of course, Global Healing Products, Oxy Powder being my favorite, Biophotonic Gold being my second favorite. Make sure to check it out. Get the Liver Cleanse program. It is absolutely incredible. This is tlsmarketplace.shop. Links are in the description below. As always, I want to say thank you all very much for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of this live stream. I love you all very, very much. And make sure to get your medallions and bracelets with the links in the description below. And of course, make sure to be there in January. Get your ticket while you still can. I love you. I appreciate you. Share this live far and wide. See you all soon.